What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Ciryl Gane has sent a clear warning to Tom Aspinall, declaring that his wrestling and grappling have improved tremendously. In a recent interview, Gane said that many fans still underestimate his ground skills, but that his loss to Jon Jones was a turning point. Since then, he's been working relentlessly to strengthen his biggest weakness, grappling, and is now more confident than ever in his ability to handle any opponent on the mat. Gane explained that the experience against Jones taught him valuable lessons and motivated him to push harder than ever before. With renewed focus and discipline, he's preparing to chase the UFC heavyweight title with full determination. The upcoming fight between Gane and Aspinall has drawn massive attention, especially because it could test both fighters beyond the early rounds. Gane is known for maintaining an impressive pace across 5 rounds, using sharp movement and intelligent striking, while Aspinall has yet to be pushed to that extent in his career. Tom Aspinall himself has acknowledged that this fight might extend into the later rounds, praising Gane's defense, striking IQ, and strong conditioning. However, Gane is not leaving anything to chance. He's confident he can fight aggressively from the opening bell or control the pace through multiple rounds if needed. "I can fight like a dog in the first round," Gane said, "but I can also go all 5 rounds. I won't reveal my game plan, but whatever happens, I'll be ready. I'm going to be present every second of that fight." When asked about his ground game, Gane addressed critics directly. "People like to say I'm not good on the ground, but I've only lost once, against Jon Jones. That was a mistake I don't plan to repeat. I was never afraid to go to the ground, and I know what I'm capable of because of how hard I train." Gane's message is loud and clear. The version of Ciryl Gane stepping into the octagon this time is not the same as before. He's evolved, sharpened his weaknesses, and is ready to prove that he's far more than just a striking specialist. His warning to Aspinall sets the stage for one of the most intriguing heavyweight clashes in recent UFC history. Please subscribe to our channel and leave a like on this video. We truly value your support. Move on to another news. Michael Bisping believes Alex Pereira would undoubtedly be considered the greatest fighter of all time if he defeats the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. After Pereira's dominant victory over Magomed Ankalaev and successful title defense, he shocked fans with a bold post-fight statement, declaring that he's only interested in fighting Jon Jones at heavyweight, not the winner of Aspinall and Gane. According to Pereira, if either he or Jon Jones were to lose, it wouldn't affect their legacies since both have already cemented themselves as legends of the sport. On the latest episode of their podcast, Bisping and Paul Felder discussed this idea, calling the possibility of Pereira changing his mind and fighting the heavyweight champion insane, in the best way possible. Bisping emphasized that if Pereira actually moves up to heavyweight and captures a 3rd belt, it would end any debate about who the GOAT truly is. If you win at 185, then go to 205 and reclaim your title, and then move up again to heavyweight. No matter who the champion is, you're the greatest fighter ever, Bisping said. Felder echoed that sentiment, pointing out that achieving championships across 3 divisions would be an unprecedented accomplishment in MMA history. Bisping added that even if the heavyweight belt were held by someone like Derek Lewis, it wouldn't matter. You go up, knock out another guy, and win the heavyweight belt. You're going down as the biggest legend in the sport, he said. The thought of Pereira becoming a 3-division world champion has set the MMA world buzzing with excitement and speculation. With Pereira's devastating power, incredible striking accuracy, and unmatched ability to rise through divisions, the idea of him claiming a 3rd belt feels both shocking and possible. As Bisping summed it up perfectly, if Pereira becomes a 3-weight world champion, the conversation is over. He's the greatest to ever compete in this sport. Move on to another news. The middleweight division has erupted in controversy as Khamzat Chimaev faces accusations of using performance-enhancing drugs following his recent fight with Dricus du Plessis. The claim came from Ray Longo, coach of Merab Dvalishvili, who openly suggested that Chimaev may be using banned substances under his new strength and conditioning coach, Sam Callouts. UFC commentator John Anik also weighed in on the discussion, calling it an intriguing and concerning development. Longo pointed out that Callouts is the same coach who worked with TJ Dillashaw during the infamous EPO scandal that led to Dillashaw's suspension. He questioned why Chimaev would deliberately choose a team with a history of doping controversies, implying that the decision may not be a coincidence. Photos of Chimaev looking noticeably more muscular than before have only fueled speculation, as fans and analysts debate whether his rapid physical transformation is the result of hard work or chemical enhancement. Anik noted that while no official evidence has surfaced, the situation raises valid questions, especially given Chimaev's dominant performances and his recent struggles with stamina due to past health issues. Some suggest that he might have turned to EPO or other substances to boost endurance after suffering from a lingering virus. Longo didn't hold back, saying, "I'd have him triple tested before he steps into the octagon. The guy's already massive, and now he's training with a coach known for ped connections? That's a red flag." He emphasized that fans who assume everyone is clean are misinformed, warning that not all fighters play by the same rules. While Chimaev's camp has remained silent, the accusations have sent shockwaves through the MMA world. Whether these claims hold weight or are just noise remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: this story has reignited the debate over ped use in the UFC and put a spotlight back on Chimaev's meteoric rise and the methods behind. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett has once again called out Ilia Topuria, accusing him of ducking their potential fight. In a recent interview, Pimblett expressed frustration over multiple UFC fighters, including Topuria and Justin Gaethje, allegedly avoiding contract agreements. "People keep talking behind the scenes saying they want to fight me," Paddy said. "But when it comes time to sign the contract, they don't do it. I'm just sitting here waiting for someone to step up." Pimblett revealed that he expected to fight Gaethje in Abu Dhabi this October, but that plan didn't come together. With Dan Hooker scheduled to fight Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira, recently facing Mateusz Gamrot, Pimblett believes Topuria is the only logical opponent left. "It should have been worked out by now if he'd just signed the contract," Paddy added. "He's stalling. He talks a big game but won't put his name on the paper." The Liverpool star didn't hold back on Topuria, claiming that the Spanish-Georgian fighter gained fame by provoking him. "Step up, Ilia. Stop being a coward and be a man," Pimblett demanded. "He tried to jump me once when I was alone, and he had like 10 people with him. He made himself famous off my name. He thinks Hig's too good to fight me, but he wouldn't be where he is without me." Paddy further stated that when Topuria moved up to lightweight, he should have been the one to welcome him into the division. "I said it back then. I should have been his first fight at lightweight, but it never happened. Instead, he got gifted a title shot," he remarked. Pimblett also took a personal dig at Topuria's identity, saying, "He's not even Spanish. Let's get that straight. He's German. He pretends to be Georgian and Spanish just to get more fans. He was born in Germany. He's a German." Pimblett's call-out has stirred up the MMA community once again, reigniting the tension between the two rivals. Fans are now waiting to see if Ilia Topuria will finally respond and accept the challenge, or if this feud will continue to build outside the cage. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev didn't hold back after fellow UFC fighter Ikram Aliskerov casually stated in an interview that he'd be open to fighting Chimaev on short notice. During his conversation with the Russian outlet Ashatika, Aliskerov was asked about a potential matchup with the reigning UFC middleweight champion. What seemed like a harmless response instantly sparked outrage from Chimaev, who publicly lashed out on social media. Chimaev's frustration stemmed from what he called a double standard in the Russian MMA community. He explained that whenever he expresses willingness to fight a Dagestani fighter, people accuse him of creating interethnic tension. However, when others, especially fighters from Dagestan, say they'd fight him, it's simply brushed off as just sport. Chimaev emphasized that for him, fighting is purely professional and has nothing to do with nationality or regional pride. He made it clear that he's always been open to facing anyone in the octagon as long as they aren't close friends. Taking to Instagram, Chimaev vented his anger directly. "Why do people give interviews to these idiots?" he wrote, referring to Ashatika. "When I say I'll fight someone from Dagestan, it's an interethnic issue. But when they say they'll fight me, it's just sport. Stop being hypocritical." His comments highlighted ongoing tension within segments of the Russian MMA fanbase, where fighters from Chechnya and Dagestan often face scrutiny over perceived rivalries. It's worth noting that Ashatika is one of the few Russian media outlets Chimaev has refused to speak with throughout his career. His new outburst, where he directly called them idiots, shows just how deep the animosity runs. Despite his global fame and success in the UFC, Chimaev remains deeply sensitive to how he's portrayed by Russian media outlets. This controversy comes at a time when Chimaev is reportedly preparing for his first middleweight title defense against Nasruddin Imamov, who also has Dagestani roots. While the fight isn't officially confirmed, the potential matchup adds another layer of complexity to the situation. If the bout becomes official, it would be a test not only of Chimaev's dominance, but also of his ability to handle the increasing pressure and public scrutiny coming from both fans and the media. Move on to another news. Sean Strickland has spoken out following the backlash surrounding Ciryl Gane's recent viral video. The video, which surfaced yesterday, showed Adesanya performing what he jokingly called a Kirk shot, sparking mixed reactions from fans online. While some defended the former middleweight champion's playful behavior, others criticized him for being out of touch and immature given his public platform. Strickland, never one to hold back, decided to chime in on social media. Responding to the controversy, he wrote, "It's a Kirk shot, because my brain no work no more," mocking both the video and the public outrage around it. His comment instantly drew attention, as Strickland has often been known to roast fellow fighters and inject humor into heated discussions across the MMA community. A fan soon replied to Strickland's post, saying that he deserves the next title shot in the middleweight division. In true Strickland fashion, his response was blunt, but surprisingly self-aware. "You know, the sad thing is, I'm the only one at middleweight who can beat him," he wrote. "I hate to admit that, and I wish it wasn't so." Strickland's reaction adds another layer to the ongoing narrative between him and Adesanya. The two have exchanged verbal jabs in the past, especially after Strickland's shocking victory over Adesanya in 2023 that dethroned the Nigerian-born star. Since then, speculation about a rematch has been constant, with fans eager to see if Adesanya can reclaim his belt or if Strickland's style continues to be his kryptonite. The middleweight division remains one of the UFC's most unpredictable weight classes, with top contenders like Dricus du Plessis and Jared Cannonier also in the mix. However, Strickland's latest comments reinforce his belief that he's still the man to beat Adesanya should they cross paths again. Whether his remarks were pure confidence or a calculated move to keep his name in the headlines, Strickland continues to play the fight game his own way, unfiltered, unapologetic, and always entertaining. Move on to another news. Dustin Poirier, one of the UFC's most respected veterans, seems to be struggling with retirement far more than he expected. After announcing earlier this year that he would be hanging up the gloves following UFC 318, fans assumed Poirier would finally get the peace and relief he deserved after 2 decades of intense competition. However, in a recent interview with MMA Fighting, the Diamond admitted that stepping away from fighting hasn't been easy and that he misses the sport deeply. "It's harder than I thought it would be," Poirier confessed. "I really believed it would feel like a relief when I finally put the gloves down, like this big weight would be lifted off my back. I thought life would start in a new way, but honestly, it hasn't felt that way yet." He went on to describe the internal void left by the absence of training, the daily grind, and the mental focus required to stay fight ready. "For 20 years, I've always had someone out there training to fight me. That's been my mindset for most of my life. Now that it's gone, I'm still trying to process it." Poirier admitted that he's been trying to keep himself busy, taking on new ventures such as commentary and business projects, but it's not the same. "I've been doing whatever I can to stay active, keeping my mind busy so I don't just sit around. But I've got to say the days feel long when I'm not waking up to train, spar, or hit the road. Fighting wasn't just my career, it was my way of life." The Louisiana native emphasized that the transition to normal life after fighting has been emotionally complex. "Time heals all," he said, "but I'm still trying to find my rhythm in this next chapter. Every day, I'm just taking it one step at a time." With Poirier's comments sparking conversation among fans, speculation has already begun about whether he might consider a one-off return, perhaps even a boxing match against Nate Diaz, a rivalry long teased but never finalized. While some fans believe the move would reignite Poirier's passion and provide closure, others argue he should remain retired and focus on commentary, where his insight and charisma have already made an impression. Whatever his next move, it's clear that Dustin Poirier's fire for competition still burns bright. Whether that leads him back into the ring or to a permanent place behind the mic, the Diamond continues to show why he's one of the most beloved fighters in UFC history.